The last and only time a Rockbridge County High School girls basketball team had a winning record, Bart Belaires was the head coach. Now, Andrew Belaires is trying to pick up where his dad left off.
You would have thought he was playing from like the way he sweat and the energy he had, and I think something about that is infectious. And it's hard sometimes when you're having a bad game to kind of like build yourself up as a player. And I think I always saw him as someone that even in the worst of times was a motivator for his team. And that's how I try to be.
Belaires wants to motivate his team too. He sets an example by fighting until the end. Belaires called a timeout in the final minutes of a 56-18 senior night blowout his team suffered against Harrisonburg High School on February 10th. He says the score didn't matter at that point. His team's effort was what mattered, and he didn't like what he was seeing.
I still try to coach the same in the last 30 seconds if you're down by 30 than in the first minute when it's a 2-point game.
Bart Belaires coached at VMI for over 15 years and is the school's second winningest coach ever. Andrew Belaires is excited to be back where his dad coached.
It's just kind of been ingrained in my DNA, and then I played all growing up, and I've felt like I've coached from the time I was 4 till now.
As a player, Belaires was a 3-year varsity player at Rockbridge County High School. His team won the district tournament championship his senior year in 2010.
It's nice to come back home and try to put down roots and try to build a program like this from the ground up.
Belaires says he's had players who showed the younger girls how to set the foundation for winning, even if they didn't this year. Senior guard Emily Mahood was one of those players.
She's a great leader. She set an example for everybody all year. She was our captain. We had some co-captains, but she was our main captain. And I mean, she's just a great person on and off the floor. And then she can play basketball.
Belaires sees a lot of potential in his young players.
I have a really good group of 8th and 9th graders coming up. I have 2 really good leaders that are 10th graders that I have, and then 2 or 3 11th graders that are solid for me.
Freshman guard Madeline Winterton stands out. She burst on the scene this year as one of the primary scorers for the Wildcats, averaging 13 points a game.
A coach the other day pulled her aside, I think it was after Broadway, and was like, "You are the most unguardable girl in this district." And it's still raw, but I think people see that it's like a bomb about to explode at some point. Like, she's going to be the real deal here in a couple years.
Belaires says Winterton still has work to do on her game, but he is excited to work with her and the team in the offseason. Still, Belaires wants his team to pursue other interests.
I am like the biggest proponent ever of multi-sport athletes. I think it's silly for someone to play one sport in high school. I played like 4 or 5.
Belaires and the Wildcats will be back in action next November with 8 returning players. For the Rockbridge Report Sports Edition, I'm Andrew Arnold.